Smotherman, MiddleTennesseeMusic.com. You're tuning into another Mid-10 Listens podcast, and we are rocking with Jess Justice from New York City, now based in Nashville. I'm going to let her take it away. Where are you from? Well, crap, I just told him where you're from. But what style of music do you create? And tell us in your own words.
I am Jess Justice. I'm coming to you from my apartment in Nashville, Tennessee. I am releasing my first music video for the song Judgment Day off of my EP that's coming out in September called The Realist. Realest. Like, I'm the realist, not like realistic, because I'm the opposite of realistic. So I am originally from Buffalo, New York, and then I lived in New York City for the last 10 years, and also Boston for 2. And I just recently moved to Nashville in January, and I love it here. And my music is, people ask me that all the time, and I call my music like country rock. It's pop rock with country, or you can call it country with pop rock. It's got pop and it's got the bigness of pop, but it's got some twang and some slide and some banjo of country, and it's got the electric guitars of rock. So it's neither one on its own, but it's all three together. And my music is all about things I've lived through, and things a lot of people have lived through, like alcoholism, depression, domestic violence, living in New York City. That's like what this whole EP is about. And the song Judgment Day that I'm releasing this video for is the most rock song on the album, and it's about this premise. I had a friend that left me, and I was very upset about it. And I had this premise when I wrote this song that what if the person that you were the worst to decides what happens to your soul? So in this song, I'm deciding. It's like we're in Judgment Day, like we're in heaven or whatever you want to call it. And I'm deciding what happens to this girl's soul. And I like forgive her and it's fine by the end of the song. But it's the development of the song. So that's Judgment Day, which I'm really excited to release.
So you've been making music for a while. Can you tell us how this newest release that we're promoting is different from anything else you've been doing?
So this release, Judgment Day, and also the whole EP that's coming out in the fall, The Realist, is really different from my last album. My old album is under my old name, Jessica Labus. It's called Mirrors, and it's folk, and that's how I started out. I started out in New York City as a folk musician. I was really into the folk and Americana scene there, and that's how the first songs that I wrote were all, I was like very influenced by Jewel and Ani DeFranco, and so this release is pop rock country, and it's big. That's my cat. It's big. It's big, and it's I feel different as a vocalist, even singing more than I ever really have. And all of the songs are written all by me, and I also co-produced it with Christopher Shirtliff. And my whole band is like, all my best friends are playing on this, so I'm really happy about that. And this is really different than anything I've ever done. It feels like the beginning of a new chapter. I'm also writing a book that's going to come out alongside this EP to document, because like I said, these songs are all about like alcoholism and domestic violence and just drama, but with a happy ending. So I went through a lot the last 7 years or so in New York, And so I wanted to write the story to kind of go with it. Like, so instead of really, of like in the 90s when we had our like CD cases that were full of all this pictures and or like maybe poems or writing or whatever the artist decided to put in there, I wanted to write a book to go with it. So the book will come separately. Yeah, so I'm excited about that.
Are you facing any challenges as an independent musician in this digital age? And assuming technology helps, and we all know it does, how is technology helping you?
Since I started pursuing music as a career in about 2006, I went to school for musical theater originally, and then I decided I wanted to be a folk singer. And then that progressed into what is now pop rock country singer-songwriter. So it's never not been the digital age. So I think it just gets more and more multimedia, and music becomes more and more a way of being an entrepreneur. Like if that's how you want to express yourself as an entrepreneur, it's so great that we can now connect and learn from each other so much easier than ever before. All of the information in the world is like right here at your fingertips. The only downside is that the oversaturation of the market, if you want to have that point of view. But that's not the most fun point of view to have. I like to look at it as the digital age is this amazing tool that we now have this amazing connectivity unlike ever before, and it just gets better. And all music that's meant to be heard, it's going to be heard. So it's really only like a plus because there's only more and more ways to make a living through creating art and connecting with fans and exchanging it in that way. And there's only more and more ways to be heard and express yourself through the different platforms. If you want to blog, if you want to make art, if you want to make music, if you want to make YouTube videos, whatever, you can do it. People will watch it.
What led you down this path of music, and what motivates you to keep it going, especially since you've been doing it for quite a while?
I've been a singer forever. But I went to school for musical theater and I was going to be an actress. But I decided to be a folk singer originally because I started acting, and I like singing. I like singing more than acting. I like acting though, but I wanted to be the creator of my own thing. I didn't like auditioning and having someone tell me if I was right or wrong for the part. I also was in this movie. It was like a indie film, and I was a host at a funeral home not for real, for the movie. And but I had the funeral homes, like real props were there. So in between the takes, I was like reading these people's, like whatever it's called, like so and so, like their whole, like, it's not a eulogy, but like they had like basically there was like these headshots with like people's like all about them, like the person who had just died. And I was like reading about these different people's things, and that day I went home after shooting that movie, and I like wrote another new song, and that was the last day I acted, and I started pursuing music like right after that, because I think I was all like, it inspired me to seize the moment. What continues? Well, being in Nashville is super inspiring. There's music everywhere, and there's musicians everywhere, and being a musician in Nashville is like the most normal thing that you can be. It's which I love. It's more normal here than in New York to just be a musician, and I'm just constantly inspired by the people around me and by their dedication and their amazing songs and their passion and their willingness to perform with me and write with me. And I think that's what keeps me going and keeps me inspired the most is the people around me, other artists, and growing as an artist, as a multimedia artist. I also blog and I have my book, and I like to try to stretch myself and do more than just write songs. So that's what keeps me going is expanding and learning from the people around me. And I think that's it. So thank you so much. I'm Jess Justice. You can find me on all the Facebooks and Instagrams and Twitter and everything as the Jess with one S, Jes, Justice. And go watch Judgment Day and keep a lookout for The Realist, which is coming out in the middle of September. Okay, thanks.